Good day to you guys. Welcome to IELTS Pro. I'm Anand Fernando. Today we are going to discuss about Academic Writing Task 1 bar charts. First, I will take a little time to get you familiar with different kinds of bar graphs we may get. And a bar chart consists of Y vertical axis and X horizontal axis. Y-axis usually indicate the measuring criteria in units or as percentages. X-axis indicate the variables or the time. And the other most important thing is the caption or the heading. That explains the content of the bar graph. In here, it says favorite color. There are several types of bar charts you get in IELTS Academic Writing Task 1. Firstly, only the variables on the x-axis. This type of bar chart, we observe the information as same as in pie charts or table questions. Here we pay attention to the highest, lowest, similar or contrastive data and information. Caption or the heading may be on top or at the bottom. Here it is type of pets which is at the bottom. The next category is the timeline on the x-axis. These bar graphs we consider the information just like in line graphs. Here the attention should be to what has happened over the period of time and especially the patterns. Also, we can consider the equalities and differences too. Then similar patterns we observe over different periods of time, etc. Here we mention the increase, decrease, stable data and information. This is another type of bar graph where timeline and variables are both present on the x-axis. In this case, we need to make comparisons of variable items as well as impact over the period of time. Now, let us look at some variations that you may observe. One is x-axis and y-axis are interchanged. So it appears to be a horizontal histogram. Another variation is two graphs plotted on the same area sharing the x-axis, but two different measuring criteria on two y's, which are on either side of the diagram. Finally, we may get this type of bar graph, which is a stacked bar chart. It has one variable on x-axis and the others plotted on top of each other. However, our writing structure for all these will be the same. Once we understand the information, we can write the report. Let me remind you, we need to write 4 paragraphs in Academic Writing Task 1. This is Introduction, Overview, Body Paragraph 1 and Body Paragraph 2. And the overview can be written as the second paragraph or last paragraph. Now, let us look at a sample question from IELTS Book 15. The chart below shows the results of a survey about people's tea and coffee buying and drinking habits in 5 Australian cities. And the instructions are always the same. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. In here, first we need to read the caption. It says coffee and tea buying and drinking habits in 5 cities in Australia. We have the measuring criteria on the y-axis and it is given in percentages. Then the x-axis has two variable types. First is cities and there are 5. Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide and Hobart. The second type is given in the legend. There are 3 types of habits which have been surveyed in these 5 cities. They are bought fresh coffee, bought instant coffee, went to a cafe for coffee or tea. Data has been collected over the last 4 weeks. First of all, we need to think why would someone do this kind of a survey? And then what has been the valuable outcome? From this, we can see what is the favorite habit of Australians in each city. Also, how they practice other listed habits. We also can understand which cities citizens enjoy tea, coffee more than others. We also can see some similarities in habits of some city dwellers and those which are different. Those are the best information we can obtain. Next, to write the introduction, we need to paraphrase the question. So, we need some vocabulary. Chart, diagram, bar graph, histogram. Precise, findings, outcome. Survey, research, investigation, inquiry, study. People, residents, citizens, city dwellers. Buying and drinking, consume, intake, purchase, obtain. Habits, practices, experiences, behaviors, traditions, routines. Cities, towns, metropolises, urban areas. Okay, now that you have the vocabulary, let's write our introduction. Pause the video and write your introduction. Great. You must have written a very expressive introduction. Let me show you one of my students did. The given bar graph illustrates the findings after researching 5 key towns in Australia regarding the tea, coffee purchasing and consuming rituals of residents. Here we can see in each city, when people needed coffee, mostly they have gone to a cafe. In Adelaide, you can see a difference, but it is negligible as it is not a measurable difference to create a considerable impact. So, all in all, the most frequent habit has been having it at a cafe. Then it also can be seen comparatively. Biggest tea coffee drinkers are from Sydney, Melbourne, and Hobart. So, now we are ready with our overview. Pause the video and write your overview. Fine, you completed your task. Let's also take a look at someone else's overview, but yours will be better. Overall, Australians from these 5 cities prefer going to a cafe for tea or coffee more than buying instant coffee, and their lowest choice is purchasing fresh coffee, while urban communities of Sydney, Melbourne, and Hobart seems to be the biggest tea coffee fans comparatively. To write the body paragraphs, we need to gather the most important information from the given data. We can't just report data. It has to be information obtained from the data. Then, let us focus on breaking the paragraphs in a logical manner. We identify that among the habits going to a cafe is the most preferred in all cities. That we can discuss in our first body paragraph. The comparison of balance habits can be included in the second paragraph. It's a clear demarcation. As to the tenses, we know the survey was conducted during last 4 weeks. So we can use present perfect and simple present tense mostly. For topic sentences, we can commence by mentioning about the highest proportion of tea coffee drinkers in the first paragraph and the other two categories in the second body paragraph. These must be followed by specific details, that is supportive information. අන්න අපට ගොඩක් පැරග්‍රාෆ් දෙකේ ටොපික් සෙන්ටෙන්සස් දෙක තීරණය කරන්න පුළුවන්. පළවෙනි එකේ අපිට කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් වැඩිපුරම තියෙන හැබිට් එක ගැන. දෙවෙනි බොඩි පැරග්‍රාෆ් එකේ ටොපික් සෙන්ටෙන්ස් එකට අපිට ඉන්ක්ලූඩ් කරන්න පුළුවන් ඉතිරි හැබිට්ස් දෙක ගැන. Let's turn to more vocabulary. When explaining data in this kind of a bar chart, we may have to mention about highest, maximum, minimum, approximately, around, almost, just above, just below, reach, range of, between, from, to, etc. For the first body paragraph, among those who prefer to go to a cafe, Melbourne and Hobart are in the top, and they are equal to around 63%. But Sydney is also immediately followed by reaching 61% approximately. Even the other two cities are in the range of 50% to 55%. Now, accordingly, you can pause the video and write your first body paragraph. Well done. Your achievement is great. Here we are with another student's first body paragraph. Firstly, it appears equal to or over 50% of city dwellers enjoy having tea or coffee in a cafe. And out of these, the highest percentage of consumers are from Melbourne and Hobart, which is just below 65%. And that is immediately followed by Sydney citizens, which amounts to little over 60%. Other two cities fall in the range of 50% to 55%. To write the second body paragraph, we can first look at buying instant coffee. All cities are in the range of 45% to 55%. Lowest consumption method is purchasing fresh coffee. And here we see that Brisbane and Adelaide shows equal proportions at around 34%, which is 1/3 of the whole. Interestingly, Adelaide has almost equal percentage of cafe visitors and instant coffee drinkers at 50%. Now, pause the video and write your second body paragraph. Brilliant. It's done now. Let's look at another student's output. Next, as for buying fresh or instant coffee, The lowest choice of these citizens has been buying fresh coffee, which is almost a third of the population in Brisbane and Adelaide. Even in the rest of the three cities, it was the lowest practice compared to the other habits. Buying instant coffee has been a mediocre preference, and all these urban populations fall in the range of 45% to 55%. Interestingly, in Adelaide, instant coffee buyers and cafe visitors are almost equal at 50%. There is one more job to do, editing. You remember the marking criteria. So we need to check whether we have achieved our highest score. These are task achievement, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, and grammatical range and accuracy. Now make sure that you have written the introduction, overview, two body paragraphs, structure. Check if you have clearly divided the body paragraphs with appropriate topic sentences. Are all the paragraphs connected with necessary cohesive devices? What about the sentences? Is there adequate linking words? Check vocabulary for frequent repetitions and also high-level vocabulary. Next, it is the spelling and variety of sentence structures. Finally, the punctuation. So, that's it for today. If you did learn something out of this video, please make your comments. Also, let us know what topics you would like us to discuss in the next videos. If you like us, you can subscribe and get more videos like this. Thank you for your patronage and good luck to you.